We really don't have a program right now. This is a chance to get chow and partake of some of the great stuff that we have here. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Chip Utterback. I have the great privilege to be the president and CEO of the Air Force Villages, Inc. Welcome to the great nation of Texas. For those of you that haven't been here before, and look at story of the village a little bit. I want to give you some business elements of this, because you can't have a wonderful place without having the background when things work, and there's a business element to this. My objective today has been to let you know that we continue to be an Air Force family, and I say Air Force, but it's bigger than that. The Air Force Assistance Fund helps us out, but we couldn't do it without what you do. Whether you send us $150 that goes to our widows in need or $10,000. We couldn't do it without you. Don't quit, because you make a difference in everybody's lives out there. The other thing I would hope that you would do is help us to find those lost generations of Air Force officers or Marines or Navy that don't know that they have an option as they move towards the end of their life. They're led today by John Lyles over here, who was a former singing sergeant. So we are truly. So let me introduce to you our village voices.
First, my name is Sherry Proctor. I am the resident counselor over at Village 2. But one of the things that is such a wonderful thing about our job is that we get to work closely with our residents, all of our residents, on a very personal level. But we also get the privilege, the true privilege of working with our widows day in and day out, and it's truly a joy for each and every one of us. And that's what this Legacy Lunch is all about today, honoring our widows.
Someone who I know because of the reputation and because of what I have seen in my 34 years in the Air Force is going to keep our Air Force family strong, and that's Mrs. Betty Welsh over here, the wife of our 20th Chief of Staff of the Air Force, who's joining us. Betty, thank you very much for being with us today and for working.
First, it's a high point for me to ask retired Major General Herb Manning to join General Erbeck and I for a special presentation.
It's with great pride that the Air Force Village recognizes a true servant leader, one who has made a positive difference in the lives of so many great American heroes, many of you here tonight, with the first ever Lifetime Achievement Award from the Air Force Village.
For 22 years now, we've been deployed to the Middle East, on and off. Everybody's done it. We have about 90-some% of our Air Force who's never known anything but that. They've never been in a peacetime Air Force. They're tired, their families are tired. Now, we don't have the same trauma on our Air Force that the Army and the Marine Corps, for example, are facing after 10 years of ground combat. That's a different type of tired. It's a different type of trauma. It's significant, and they're doing a magnificent job of trying to help their soldiers and Marines through it. The rest of our Air Force doesn't have that same kind of trauma. They're just tired. And their families are tired. And that's a big deal to me because they're now wondering what's next. What happens over the next 20 years? Is it more of this, or are we going to transition to something a little more stable, a little more looking like peacetime, and then just get ready for the next conflict, which is, I think, what we're about to do. It'll take us 3 or 4 or 5 years to get there, but they're excited about that opportunity. Now, what does that young Marine who lost 2 legs have to do with our Air Force? They were in a very tough firefight when this happened. They were running from an ambush, and that's when the IED was exploded. The close air support that arrived to stop the firefight and kill the enemy was Air Force A-10s. The helicopter that came in to pick Michael up off the battlefield was Air Force pararescuemen, and a helicopter called Pedro. The Pedro call sign in Afghanistan is famous now. Our pararescuemen are called Guardian Angels by the ground troops. And as an Army 2-star recently told me, if you hear the radio call, Guardian Angels inbound, everybody on the battlefield feels better. The first aid station that he was taken to was a Marine Corps aid station, manned with a 3-person Air Force medical team. He was moved to Bagram Air Force Base, where he was treated by Air Force surgeons with initial surgery. Then to Al Udeid in the country of Qatar. There treated at an Air Force hospital. Transferred to an Air Force C-17 that flew him to Lanzhou Regional Medical Center. The ICU nurse that I was in with was an Air Force nurse. His surgeon was an Air Force trauma surgeon. There's an entire medical team there from all the services, but all along the way, the Air Force was touching Michael. Your airmen are fantastic. They do all kinds of unbelievable work, from the very difficult hard end of our business to the very difficult softer end that saves and nurtures and regrows lives. You'd really be proud for what you did, for what you continue to do, and for what you represent to all of us. And a special thank you for letting Betty and I join you tonight. Thank you.
I thought a long time about what we were going to give our speaker, and boy, I'd rather be lucky than good. The first thing we thought about was a plaque, and I knew Betty would not want another plaque anywhere. But I went to our residence, and we got something that I think, after this story and what you have told us, is very fitting. This is just a little bowl. It's a little bowl that I hope will show up in the Air House. But it's very special for a lot of reasons. The first one is it was crafted by one of our residents, Chaplain Colonel Gene Kirkus, who lives here today. He loves to woodwork. This is wood that came off of our property right here. It's mesquite wood, and you being a Texas boy, understand that there's a lot of goodness with mesquite wood. One, it's hard, it's called ironwood. Number 2, if we go into sequestration, you can burn it and feed some people. It's also good for barbecue. But it's a beautiful, hard, strong wood. But after listening to what he said tonight, what's really important in here is the turquoise that Gene Kirkus put in here. It's from the Southwest too. And you know, some great warriors, the Apaches, used to pay homage to the turquoise. They thought it was something that warded away evil. But what the Apache warrior thought when he looked at turquoise was the fact that it gave the archer a dead aim. Between the strength here and that dead aim, we got somebody that can take this to town and help our Air Force, help our nation, and move us forward. Chief, thank you for coming out here tonight. Think about our residents, the strength that's in here, and that dead aim and warding off evil. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
This song is dedicated to all the residents here, and sorry, I wrote this with a personal message back in 2004. Okay, and it goes by the tune of Yellow Rose of Texas. We're the OSC delegates, become our pioneer. Thanks for the invitation to come and share your cheer. Our clubs will share our money to help our widows dear. And when it's time to go home, our memories we will share. Your Texas hospitality just cannot be beat. The weather often changes from pleasant cool to heat. We love to hear you reminisce and tell your histories. For the memories of our visit will always treasure be. Thank you.